What is up, RPG nerds? In this video, I will be giving you a top 10 of my favorite chapters from the original Paper Mario trilogy. I'll do the newer Paper Mario games in a different video, but I feel like they're two very distinct entities, and, you know, there are a lot of people who only like this original trilogy, so I'm going to start off with this. So my top 10 chapters in the original Paper Mario trilogy. Alright, so let's get right into it. My 10th favorite chapter in the original Paper Mario trilogy is going to Super Paper Mario's Chapter 7, The Underwear. Bro, Mario gets sent to hell. What else is there to say about this chapter? I mean, there's a lot, but it's so cool, and sure, it is tedious at times. I mean, jumping up that weird staircase and going up to heaven and getting a bunch of apples. And yes, this is a very fetch quest heavy chapter, but I think still to this day, no Paper Mario chapter is quite as cool in the thematic sense. And it is just so cool. Losing all your party members, you finally get Luigi in the party here, which is awesome. You get some other really cool stuff, like, what else do we get? I mean, like, I don't know. Oh, the story with Love Bee and Queen Jadis and whatever the dad's name is cool. And the plot twist there. And Bone Chill, even if the fight kind of sucks, like, he looks pretty cool. And yeah, I mean, and we get the Underchomp fight. We get to fight Bowser again. We get to see some weird things. We get that little cloud friend guy. And there's just some really cool themes here. And just the intro is awesome, just getting sent to hell as Mario. Like, that was a crazy twist. I mean, it was already a crazy enough twist that the world ended, Samra's kingdom ended, and then all of a sudden we're going to hell. Like, what the heck is this? I love this so much. An amazing Paper Mario chapter. Alright, in 9th place is going to be the original Paper Mario's Chapter 7, my second favorite chapter in the original Paper Mario. This chapter is just pretty much perfect. I mean, it's not like, I don't know, it's not as unique as a lot of the other chapters, but it's pretty much perfect. I mean, we get a little murder mystery segment, we get climbing up a mountain, we get 2 different, like, star villages, we get an awesome dungeon, perhaps the best dungeon in the series, outside of the Thousand Year Door's final dungeon, and we just get so many cool stuff. The Crystal Palace is awesome. The plot twists there. The fight with the Crystal King. The Dupla Ghosts are awesome. The whole mirror stuff, shenanigan stuff was awesome. And honestly, this whole chapter was like the epitome of an amazing ice chapter. Usually ice chapters in games are horrible. Like, you're slipping around all over the place and you just want to be done. Stupid. Or there's some dumb mechanic where you can't freeze or something. But here, it's just a lovable chapter. And for many, it's either a number 1 or number 2 pick for the original Paper Mario. Or even for some, this will be their favorite chapter in the whole series, which I can also get around as well. So I really love this chapter. Alright, and in 8th place on this list is my first favorite chapter from the original Paper Mario. I'm sorry, I prefer Super Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, so it's a very heavy ranking for those games. But anyway, in 8th place is going to be Paper Mario's Chapter 3. I love this chapter. The Forever Forest is such an iconic location. Lady Bow is epic. The whole Tubba Blubba stuff is just so fun, so unique, so cool. And all that jazz. This is just a really, really cool location. It's full of great moments. It's full of lovable areas, and just, it's actually pretty intense. And I love that Tubba Blubba is like a villain throughout the whole chapter. I don't like when there's just some random entity at the end of the chapter. I really like this, and like Huff and Puff for the whole chapter, or like Dupless, where the whole chapter you're like, oh my gosh, we gotta kill this guy, you know what I'm saying? So that made Tubba Blubba a much more interesting villain, and I think that him being invincible just made the whole chapter so much cooler. This is just easily my favorite chapter, and Paper Mario, the original. And I think that Chapter 7 might be like more consistently good across the board, but I think the third chapter is my favorite in the game. All right, in 7th place is Thousand Year Door's 6th chapter, the Excess Express. The only reason this one is lower on this list than you may expect is because it's just not very replayable. But I love the mystery elements here. I love Smorg. And even though I was just saying that I don't like bosses that aren't throughout the whole chapter, Smorg is kind of cool because it's like this whole idea where it's going on this train and then all of a sudden there's like some weird thing and yeah, it starts attacking, and that was cool. Even though it wasn't really teased at all, I liked it in this very specific circumstance. I thought the Riverside Station was a lot better than most people give it credit for. We got a new ability there. We get to fight some fun monsters. We get to do some like pachinko style, not really, whatever, that maze. We get some weird gear platforming. Like, I liked the Riverside Station. Poshley Heights, an iconic location. I wish we had a little bit more to do there, but it was awesome. Pennington is one of the best characters in the series. Love him. And this would honestly be like a top 4 chapter, top 5 chapter for me if it wasn't like completely boring on a second playthrough, because you already know the puzzles, the mysteries, the plot twists and stuff, and it just isn't as fun on a second playthrough. Alright, so in the next spot is going to be Thousand Year Door's final chapter. Well, you guessed it, the Thousand Year Door. This is just an amazing chapter full of climactic cutscenes, not hard bosses, but a lot of bosses. I guess the final boss is kind of tough, but lots of bosses, lots of puzzles, lots of testing your ability on how well you know the game. And the theming is really cool. It's like a gothic, like medieval castle. And I don't think it is the most unique chapter of all of them. I mean, it's pretty epic, but it isn't like my favorite. But the amount of bosses here already just makes it amazing. And yeah, the actual like traversal gameplay parts of this chapter aren't that great, but the amount of bosses and the cutscenes make the Thousand Year Door Chapter 8 one of the best chapters in the series for me. Alright, and next spot on this list is going to be Paper Mario The Thousand Year Doors Chapter 5. I absolutely love this chapter, and it all has to do with the amazing pirate theming, the awesome Cortez. I love how we get to, well, like Cortez like turns into a good guy all of a sudden, which is awesome, and he starts we get on his boat and he starts taking us out, and then we start attacking the X-Nauts, which was so epic. We got some other really cool stuff with Flavio, and just that whole intro to this chapter is amazing. Admiral Bobry's an amazing partner in every way of the word, and I absolutely love Bobry so much. And really, this chapter just perfectly encapsulates what it is like to be a pirate and all that stuff. And it's just an amazing chapter in every way of the word, and yeah, one of my favorite chapters in the series for sure. Alright, next on this list is going to be Super Paper Mario's Chapter 6. Super Paper Mario's Chapter 6 is all about the story, all about the twists and turns and battling. And I love this one. Fighting Mimi, having Count Black show up, and all of a sudden Count Black wins. Then you get to fight Mr. L and his Brobot. And again, this isn't one of the more replayable ones, but it just hits so different the first time. It's kind of what it is like with the Chapter 6. And both Super Paper Mario and Thousand Year Door, they're like really like banger chapters the first time you play them. But this one just made more an impact on me specifically, and this is where the world literally dies, and this is what really starts Mario actually going to hell or whatever. And that's just, I don't know, it's so cool. And we get Dementio blows you up, and I don't know, there's just so much random crap happening here, and I love it. The World of Nothing is so cool with just the black and the white, and it's, I don't know, it's so amazing. The theme, like the atmosphere, the story elements of this chapter is just awesome, and it was not what I was expecting. I was just expecting like discount Glitzville, dollar store Glitzville that I'm not gonna like. I'm really glad that they didn't just go full on Sammer Kingdom, because that would have been a super bad chapter. They did a really good job with including like kind of a very expectation subverting chapter. Just so awesome. All right. Next on this list, in third place, is going to be Paper Mario The Thousand Year Doors Chapter 4. I love this chapter. Say what you will about the backtracking, but that doesn't mean anything to me for how much I love this chapter. The plot twist at the end is awesome. The atmosphere is phenomenal. Dupless is an epic villain. Vivian is a great partner. I love being like fighting your partners, and Vivian being like, wait, Mario's like actually the good guy. I love the freaking 3D pigs. It's the stupidest thing I've ever seen ever, but it's awesome. I love the Boo fight. I love just everything about this chapter. And I just remember back when I was like 4 years old, this is what made me want to play the Thousand Year Door. I think I was watching my dad play it when I was like 3 or 4 or something. I was like, whoa, what is that place? And I was just looking at Twilight Town. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. So then I started playing Thousand Year Door. And for some reason, I thought that Bogley Woods was going to be Twilight Town, just because I heard, oh, woods, and Bogley sounds like a dark, weird word. So when I got to chapter 2 and it was the boring Bogley Woods, I was really annoyed. But anyway, Twilight Town is so cool. And really, the backtracking isn't that bad for me, because every time it's different. I mean, you go with Mario and the partners the first time. The second time you just go with Mario himself, Purple Mario, and then the third time you go with Mario and Vivian. And it's a really short segment, and I think it plays into the plot better than a lot of people realize. I don't think it's like great. I mean, I wish it would have given us maybe we'll get an option in the remake to not have to do this, but I don't really care. It's not a big deal for me personally, and I just really, really loved this chapter in pretty much every single way. I do not ever regret saying that this is my third favorite chapter in the original Paper Mario trilogy. Alright, in second place is Glitzville. Most people's favorite quintessential chapter of the year in a day, or whatever the heck they want to say. And really, Glitzville is perfect. I mean, it's so good. I mean, I wish that the loading times between fights was a bit better, but this chapter has it all. It has amazing combat, it has mystery, and just unraveling the mystery in this chapter is so good. And it is easily one of the best chapters in the original trilogy, and one of my favorites in the whole series. And I just absolutely love Glitzville. It takes everything I love about RPGs in general and just does it. It has a self-contained story that's so cool, with epic plot twists, with multiple of them, with the Rock Hawk not actually being the main bad guy, to Prince Mush and the main bad guy being Grubba. Like, oh my goodness. And that's without saying how good the atmosphere is, getting new abilities, Yoshi literally being trapped in a locker room and having to go through the toilet. Like, oh my goodness, there's so many good parts about Glitzville. I always forget how much I love this chapter until I start talking about it. But unfortunately, it is not my favorite chapter in the Paper Mario original trilogy. So what is it? It's going to be Super Paper Mario's Chapter 8, Castle Black. This takes everything, and I mean everything. It takes atmosphere, and a lot of people say it's boring, but I think it looks so cool with all the black and the white contrast. It looks so epic. You really can contrast with your characters, because you're like all bright looking and stuff. And anyway, there's so much tension here. Like, your characters are dropping like flies, or losing your characters. You're going through some epically designed levels. You're fighting all the bosses again. You're getting to the end, and then the final level of this game is some of the best content in any game ever. The whole final boss, the plot twist with Dementio, the plot twist about Tippy and Count Black, the plot twist about everything. I don't know, the whole Chaos Heart, the thing where through the power of friendship we will make another set of pure hearts, and Natasha like dying and all this stuff. It's so good. And it's not actually my favorite chapter in the Paper Mario series. There's one new Paper Mario chapter that beats it for me, which I'm going to get shot and killed and thrown in the gutter for saying that I like a new Paper Mario chapter the best of any in the series. But honestly, Super Paper Mario's final chapter is just phenomenal in every way of the word. And I mean, the only thing I can say is the gameplay could be a bit more fun at times, and maybe a little bit more atmosphere, but I don't know, for other people. Like, I think the black and the whites was perfect in every way for this. I mean, maybe I can see someone being like, oh, I wanted like purple and black or something, and I can see that also being really, really cool. But honestly, I mean, anytime we get Count Bleck shine, like, Count Bleck is the best Mario villain of all time, no questions asked. Anyone who says otherwise is cringe. But Count Bleck is amazing, and just getting him and Tippy's story closing out is by far some of the best moments in the series for me. Not my favorite moment. That will be saved for another video. I'll probably make a whole video about it. But anyway, I absolutely adore this chapter, and it really takes Super Paper Mario from like an amazing game to an unforgettable masterpiece of a game. And I think Super Paper Mario is one of the best games of all time, and this is one of the reasons why this final chapter is amazing. I mean, I still like Thousand Year Door better, but Thousand Year Door has nothing compared to Super Paper Mario in terms of how it ended. I mean, it ended well. It kind of was a little cringe with the, oh my gosh, we get everyone back and they're calling and praying for Mario, and then he just, I don't know, it's a little cringe, but it's good, it's good. But anyway, in the end, Super Paper Mario's final chapter is just a masterpiece, and yeah. Thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe and check out other videos on the channel. I'll put some other Mario RPG videos in the end screen, but I have one more announcement I would like to make. I have a ranking of every single chapter in the entire original trilogy down in the description. It is Patreon exclusive, however, so join the Patreon if you didn't join this video. However, I will try to put it up. I don't know exactly how it works, but I'll try to put it up as like a one-time purchase thing too. If you don't want to be like subscribed forever or whatever, because I get it, subscriptions are kind of stupid. But anyway, so if you want to check that out, if you really like this video, I'd love for you to see my full video. I didn't want to put the whole one up on YouTube because it's like a million hours long, but for the real like super mega nerds of the Paper Mario original trilogy, you would adore that video, I'm sure. Thank you all for watching, and have a fantastic day, Mario nerds. See you in the next video.